And joining me now is retired four-star General Barry McCaffrey and Helene Cooper, Pentagon correspondent for the New York Times. Welcome both. Barry, let me go to you first, General McCaffrey, if I may call you Barry, because you're a friend and colleague. I am really struck by Peskov saying that these two prisoners, these two American military men, are not subject to the Geneva Conventions. What is your professional take on that?
Well, they're in a very difficult situation, obviously. There are thousands, literally, of international fighters who've gone to Ukraine to try and stand up to the Russian criminal invasion. They're, I think, characterized by and large as courageous and willing to sacrifice themselves for some ideal. It's not very helpful to the United States or Ukraine, in my view. You know, at the end of the day, the Ukrainians have the courage and the fighters to continue this conflict. They need trainers and technical help. And the value of three Americans, one probably missing, possibly killed, two clearly in custody, is much greater to the Russians as hostages than they were the Ukrainians as fighters. So it's a difficult situation. The Russians are going to exploit this for everything they can. I'd be unsurprised if they weren't put in front of a, Russian field court-martial and sentenced. Who knows where this will go.
And talk to me about what's happening on the battleground, Helene, because you've got setbacks there in the Donbass. The Russians have been making advances. As you know so full well, the Ukrainians are trying to get acclimated to the new artillery that they've received. What's the latest in this balance of power?
Hi, Andrea. Thanks for having me. The Russians have been continuing to make incremental progress in the Luhansk region. That's the easternmost region. And they're not doing so. They have virtually taken Severodonetsk. They're on the verge of taking Lysychansk. This was expected by American officials who I talked to last week. They've been saying, the Russians actually took a little longer to take those to take those cities, if they have indeed, than was expected. And so they're still making sort of incremental, slow, but inexorable progress there. What's interesting, though, is that the expectation at the Pentagon continues to be that while the Russians will gain territory in Luhansk, the Donetsk region is going to be a little bit harder for them. And there you can see more. As you see these advanced weaponries, these artillery systems, the HIMARS that the Americans are sending to Ukraine coming into play. They expect that will make the battlefields a more equal place between Russia and Ukraine. That hasn't come to pass yet, but that's the expectation, that we're still in for quite a long slog at this point. So Russia is definitely doing better. Not as well as one would have originally expected, a military machine as the Russian military was supposed to be, but they have made quite slow but steady progress in Luhansk. But the Donetsk region is sort of where the battle may be shifting now.
And General McCaffrey, there's a couple of really tough trigger points. One is Odessa, which now, according to Reuters, at least today, has been hit with some rocket fire, taking out a warehouse, a food warehouse. Where do you see this going if this does become a lengthy war of attrition, as the UN Secretary General suggested this weekend it might well be?
Yeah,